Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is Sports Buzz with me, Deepika, and coming up in the next half an hour. India beat South Africa in third T20I to make 2-1 lead. India to play fourth and final T20I on Friday at Johannesburg. Zverev continues dominating run at the ongoing ATP finals as he downs Casper Ruud in a group stage encounter. Fritz to take on Alex de Minaur later today. And Paris authorities ramp up security ahead of the France versus Israel Nations League clash scheduled to take place on Thursday. To begin with cricket first, India makes a strong comeback at the ongoing T20I, leading the current series by 2-1. India not only is taking the game in their hand, but also witnessing the emergence of a promising and sensational player, Tilak Varma, who hit his maiden T20I century. Here's more. In a much-needed comeback victory, India defeated South Africa by 11 runs to lead the ongoing four-match T20 series by 2-1 at Centurion. In what could be one of the best team performances with an all-round effort, the young legs played crucial role. One such player is Tilak Varma, who notched up his maiden T20I century. The left-hander got to the triple-figure mark in 51 balls. His innings included 8 fours and 7 sixes, helped India reach 219 for a loss of 6 wickets at the end of 20 overs. Praising the all-round performance of the team, BCCI's Honorary Secretary Jai Shah said, "A fantastic comeback by the young cricket as they defeated the Proteas to take a lead in the series. A special mention to the two talented youngsters, Abhi Sharma and Tilak Varma, for such a fantastic display of ball striking, and Arshdeep Singh, who's beautifully leading the pack of bowlers at this young age. Wishing the team the best as they proceed to Johannesburg for the final match of the series." Tilak Varma joined forces with Abhishek Sharma to put together a stupendous 117-run partnership. Abhishek's 25-ball 50 showed plenty of power hitting in the power play itself. With this, the Hyderabad batter became the 12th Indian player to score a T20I century and the third this year, following in the footsteps of Samson and Abhishek. Tilak also became the second youngest Indian to score a T20I 100 after Yashasvi Jaiswal. Confident Team India is all set to take on South Africa in fourth and final T20I at the Wanderers Stadium on Friday, the 14th of November. Sports Desk, DD India. On the other hand, Arshdeep Singh has also become India's second highest wicket taker in T20 internationals during the third match against South Africa at Supersport Park in Centurion on Wednesday. The left-arm pacer dismissed Ryan Rickelton to reach 90 wickets in T20Is, surpassing Jasprit Bumrah's tally of 89. Arshdeep also took the key wickets of Henrik Klaasen and Marco Jansen, helping India secure an 11-run victory. With 92 wickets, Arshdeep is just 5 wickets away from claiming the top spot on the list. And Yuzvendra Chahal currently holds the record with 96 wickets in 80 matches at an economy rate of 8.19. And to discuss about Team India's performance at the ongoing T20I series, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Narayan Singh. Narayan, India is making a strong comeback with the help of young lads. First, let's talk about Tilak Varma, who hit his maiden T20I century. What do you have to say about his sensational knock?
Deepika, we know that Tilak Varma is a gem of a player, but because of the injuries in the past, he missed some important series, especially against the Zimbabwe and the Sri Lanka, and he was also not in the part of the series that was played against Bangladesh in the T20 format, but he was called at the last moment because another player, Shivam Dubey, was injured and he was drafted in the team. But this time around he was in the team, and the way he played in the first 2 matches, it was not too high scoring, but he finally, for this match, he went to the captain Surya Kumar Yadav and he told him that he want to bat at the number 3, and Surya revealed this, and he said that he said to Tilak that you are going to play at the number 3 and go and express yourself, and the way he expressed is known to everyone, and he became the second youngest batsman to hit a T20 century. And the most important thing of his knock is that the maturity with which he shifted the gears. And first, when he was opening with Abhishek Sharma, he was playing a second fiddle in the game, and when Abhishek went back to the pavilion. He played few wonderful shots, and after that a span came where in the span of 4 to 5 overs where he played just 4 or 5 balls, during which India lost the wicket of Suryakumar Yadav as well as Hardik Pandya, and when they left, he again came to the flying best and scored multiple boundaries and helped India to score a mammoth target here at the Centurion. So most importantly, we can say that now there is a cultural shift in the Indian cricket. The kind of brand of cricket they are playing is commendable. Now it's not about the volume of the runs that the Indian top order is scoring, but it's the velocity of the runs with which they are scoring. If you take a look at the strike rate of our players, the way Abhishek Sharma scored 50 of the 5 balls with a strike rate of 200, and talking about the Tilak Verma, a strike rate of over 190. If you take a look, the Indian cricket in the past few years, whether it is a T20 World Cup, ODI World Cup, a fantastic display of attacking brand of cricket was displayed by the Indian top order, and because of that India won the T20 World Cup. And because of that cultural shift, we know that this team is totally different from the team that won the World Cup for India. But the seamless transition under Suryakumar Yadav, it shows that India defeating South Africa in their South African condition. Now they are leading 2-1, and the kind of cricket they are displayed, we can say that with the help of the few wonderful knocks, the individual brilliance, we defeated a South African team here.
And Arshdeep, Abhishek all shown with the team spirit, but this is not the end. Fourth and final game is still there. What is it that Team India needs to be careful about going into this important clash, because there is a possibility of this match going into a tie as well?
But here I will talk about first South Africa. We talk about the last time they won the T20 series was way back in August 2022. And after that, they haven't won a single T20 series, lost 5 and drew 1, that is against Ireland. And considering the fact that they were the finalists in the T20 World Cup, and any big ICC T20 tournament is almost 15 months away, so they no need to worry for them, because they are playing with the second fiddle pace attack. Kagiso Rabada is not there, and apart from that, Lungi Angidi is not there, and Enrique Nokia is also not there. So the second fiddle pace is playing, and we are hoping that in their absence they are trying and test the new players here for the South African team. But talking about the Indian team, and we know that this is a totally different team, and we know that there were few loopholes, especially if you talk about the Indian team's performance. Apart from the batting performance of the Abhishek Sharma and Tilak Verma, it is not up to the mark. Only because of the individual brilliance of the Tilak and Abhishek, India dominated the match, and we need to address these issues, because every time you will not get the individual brilliance of any single player or a two player, and because of that we are winning the matches. It's not of a single series. In the past also we watched that India won multiple important series and important tournaments also, but
right,
it was clearly visible in those tournaments that it was the individual brilliance, and now we need to address that it should be a complete team performance for the India to dominate the upcoming events.
All right, thank you so much, Narayan, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on India's T20I series against South Africa. Now let's talk about women's cricket. The Board of Control for Cricket in India has announced the Indian women's cricket team schedule for the upcoming home series against the West Indies and Ireland. The cricketing action will kick off in December with a 3-match T20I series at D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai against the West Indies women, followed by 3 ODIs which will take place in Baroda. India will then take on Ireland women for a 3-match ODI series in Rajkot in January. The ODI series against the West Indies and Ireland is a part of the ICC Women's Championship. India is coming off a 2-1 ODI series victory against Women's T20 World Cup winner New Zealand. Gujarat Titans have appointed Parthiv Patel as the assistant coach for the upcoming season of the Indian Premier League. Gujarat Titans have bestowed former India keeper batter Parthiv Patel with the dual responsibility of serving as their assistant and batting coach ahead of the mega auction, which is scheduled to take place on 24th and 25th of November. Parthiv won the IPL title with Chennai Super Kings in 2010 before moving on to the Mumbai Indians, where he won 2 more titles. Now, the Nepali under-19 women's cricket team has qualified for the ICC T20 Women's Under-19 World Cup 2025. Nepal qualified for the World Cup, which is to be held in Malaysia next year after defeating the United Arab Emirates by 8 wickets in the final match of the Asia qualifiers held in the UAE. In the Asia qualifiers, Nepal won 4 out of 5 matches. Along with the hosts, the UAE, Thailand and Kuwait competed for a spot in the World Cup. Only one team was to qualify for it, which has now been secured by Nepal. Moving on now, let's talk about tennis. In the ATP finals, Carlos Alcaraz opened his account on Wednesday with an entertaining 6-3, 7-6 victory over Andrei Rublev, boosting his hopes of reaching the semi-finals. World number 3 Alcaraz comfortably defeated Rublev to lift himself off the bottom of the group and looked in much better form despite struggling with fatigue and illness. The Spaniard cruised to the first set in 38 minutes, breaking Rublev in Game 7 and quickly winning the next 2 to go 1 set ahead. Alcaraz now will face Zverev on Friday in his final match of the round-robin group stage. And two-time former champion Alexander Zverev defeated Norway's Casper Ruud by 7-6, 6-3 for his second victory of the week at the ATP finals on Wednesday. The 27-year-old Zverev will now set his sights on Alcaraz, to whom he lost in the French Open final this year. The Nastase group will be decided on Thursday when home favourite and world number 1 Jannik Sinner takes on Daniil Medvedev and American Taylor Fritz takes on Alexei Mineau. America's Taylor Fritz is all set to take on Australia's Alexei Mineau in the third group stage match at the ATP Finals. Fritz began his campaign at the ATP Finals with a victory against Daniil Medvedev, but he faced defeat at the hands of Jannik Sinner in the second group stage match. On the other hand, the Mineau looked a bit shaky. He has already lost 2 matches, one against Jannik Sinner and the other against Daniil Medvedev. In head-to-head, the Mineau currently is just 5-3 margin away against Fritz. To keep his chances alive for semi-finals, the Mineau needs to beat Taylor Fritz by straight sets. An informed Jannik Sinner takes on Daniil Medvedev in another high-stakes game with semi-finals berth up for grabs. With straight-set victories over Alexei Mineau and Taylor Fritz, Sinner has an edge over Medvedev, whose journey so far in the tournament has been turbulent. After an opening loss to Fritz, Medvedev got back with a victory over the Mineau, but his path to the semi-finals is unclear. While Sinner is in a comfortable spot, Medvedev's qualification to the semi-finals depends on this match's outcome. In head-to-head between the two players, the scores are tied at 7-7 each. Talking about Indian players, Rohan Bopanna and Matthew Abden suffered back-to-back defeats in the ATP Finals 2024. The Indo-Australian pair started their campaign with a loss to Italy's Anthria and Simon in straight sets. On Wednesday, Marcelo Arevalo and Mate Pavic beat them by 7-5, 6-3 in the group stage match on centre court. With the defeat, Bopanna and Abden are at the bottom of the table in the Bob Bryan group with a game victory percentage of 34.21. Their last and final match in the group stage is on Thursday against Kevin Crowates and Tim Pertz. And now let's talk about badminton. Double Olympic medalist PV Sindhu lost to Canada's Michelle Lee in the second round of Kumamoto Masters Japan Super 500 tournament this morning. World number 20, PV Sindhu was defeated by her Canadian opponent by 21-17, 16-21, 17-21 in a match that lasted 1 hour and 15 minutes. With Sindhu's defeat, India's campaign in the tournament has also come to an end. Moving on, Sebastian Coe says protecting female sport is a non-negotiable aspect after speaking for the first time since revealing that he's set to run for the elections as the president of International Olympic Committee. Take a listen.
The clarity of policy is absolutely vital. The international federations must have primacy over decisions that relate directly to their sport, the codification, where the events take place. But I think there should be a role for the Olympic movement in the thought leadership in sport and having clear-cut policies in that space particularly.
Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India Sports Bus. England captain Harry Kane criticises players' withdrawal from Nations League games. Argentina looks to overcome Paraguay on own home turf in FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifiers.
We are doing a deep dive into security dynamics in the Indo-Pacific region and also what this means going into the future for India and its rising position in the world.
The Quad has now become a foundational block within the Indo-Pacific, and the Biden administration has continued that momentum. Now, I don't see Trump Part 2 walking away from that, again, because it's something that they helped to resurrect.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching Sports Pass with me, Deepika. And now let's talk about football. France will host Israel in the UEFA Nations League 2024-25 Group A2 match at Stade de France in Paris tonight. However, security still remains a concern as Paris authorities ramp up security ahead of the clash. Here's a report.
Paris police officials have ramped up security ahead of the Nations League match between Israel and France. Ahead of the match, protesters took to the streets in Paris on Wednesday, decrying the upcoming soccer match. Some 4,000 police officials will secure the event, which will also be attended by French President Emmanuel Macron. The authorities have increased security following violent clashes between locals and Israeli soccer fans in Amsterdam last week. Israel coach Ran Ben Shimon said that he hoped supporters would still turn out to watch their match against France despite the security concerns.
I want to prepare my national team to the best possible way of playing against a very strong national team of France, the best we can. I hope as much as we can, and I hope also so that people from the Israeli community around here will come to see our national game.
France's football coach Didier Deschamps said his team was not immune to the heavy context of its upcoming match with Israel following violent clashes last week.
We have made sure to prepare for this match as normally as possible. But obviously, in the entire French team, no one can be immune to the context, which is heavy. I don't talk to the players about it. Obviously, this has consequences when it comes to the number of supporters present tomorrow and everything that goes with it. We will make sure that it remains a football match despite everything.
Kylian Mbappe will not feature in the Nations League fixtures after Real Madrid star was not included in the 23-man squad announced by Didier Deschamps. France is second in the Nations League Group A2 with 9 points from 4 games, while Israel will look to better their position in the standings as they are currently at the bottom of the table without a point. Sports Desk, DD India.
In other Nations League matches, England will take on Greece at home on Thursday. Harry Kane and his England teammates hit the training pitch before travelling to Athens. England are second in their group with 9 points, while Greece have won all 4 games so far and are at the top. England's interim boss Lee Carsley his aim is to help England gain promotion to League A before he returns to managing the under-21 side. Carsley was forced to make wholesale changes to his squad after several key players withdrew due to injury. Following the England players pulling out of the national squad, interim coach Lee said he is focused on the players who are present.
The focus all camp has been on the players that are here. I think it's important that we make the most of this situation. With the amount of players that are pulled out, it gives all the players an opportunity to be here. We're really looking forward to the game. It's going to be a tough test for us, and the focus has been purely on the players that are here.
South African Football Association's president Danny Jordan appeared in the court after his arrest on Wednesday over allegations that he used the organization's money for his own purposes. Jordan, a leading figure in bringing the 2010 World Cup to South Africa, had tried to get a court to halt his imminent arrest on Tuesday. Jordan, who was granted bail for $1,110, denies any wrongdoing. The arrest stems from a raid by police on the South African Football Association offices in the month of March.
This is just another smear campaign. If you look at the list of witnesses that were provided by the, which I will not mention now, but which were provided by the state today, you go through the list of all 90 names, and it's all former disgruntled members of SAFA who have been part of a smear campaign trying to change the current leadership of SAFA.
Now, Brazil will clash against Venezuela in a FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifying match at the Monumental Stadium of Machirin on Thursday. Pressure on Brazil coach Dorival Jr. was eased in October after 2 wins in qualifying over Chile and Peru. Brazil once again will not have Neymar, who picked up a muscular injury earlier this month. Vinicius Jr. will likely have to link up effectively with Rapinoe and Luis Henrique. Currently, Brazil sits 4th in the qualifying standings with 5 victories, 1 draw and 4 losses. On the other side, Venezuela has not won any of its last 6 qualifiers and is currently placed at the 8th spot in the qualifying points table. And Lionel Messi's Argentina will look forward to overcome Paraguay on their own home turf when the two sides meet in the FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifiers in Asunción on Thursday. Argentina are the current world champions and they are looking to be in good standings to mount a title defence at the upcoming FIFA World Cup. Coached by Lionel Scaloni, Argentina currently top the qualifiers points table with 7 victories and 1 draw in their 10 outings. Meanwhile, Paraguay are on the resurgence after picking up only 5 points from their opening 6 games. Since Gustavo Alfaro took over as the head coach, Paraguay are undefeated in the competition and have risen to the 6th spot with 13 points from 10 outings. Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni is confident that there will be Lionel Messi jerseys in the home section despite the Paraguayan Football Association's ban on rival shirts ahead of World Cup 2026 qualifier. Earlier, Paraguay football manager Fernando Villalboa warned the home crowd to wear only Paraguayan shirts as no jerseys from other countries will be allowed.
Obviously, for the Paraguayan players, they would want to see Paraguayan fans with their national team's jersey. But I believe that Leo is stronger than all of that, and there will be Argentinian jerseys. That doesn't mean they are not cheering for Paraguay. I think it's good for soccer fans to recognize what it represents, and just because you wear a jersey doesn't mean you are a fan of Argentina. It's only in his honor.
In another qualifying matches for the 2026 World Cup, Ecuador will host Bolivia on Friday at the Banco Pichincha Stadium in Guayaquil. Currently, Ecuador sits 5th in the qualifying standings, posting 4 victories, 4 draws and only 2 losses. Alongside Paraguay, Ecuador has the fewest goals conceded in this round. To solidify their position in the upper part of the table, Ecuador will need a decisive home victory against Bolivia to remain unbeaten at home with 3 victories and 2 draws. Now, Harry Kane has come out strong in favour of his country ahead of the upcoming Nations League encounter, as several key players have already pulled out of the matches, citing injury or other concerns. Here's more. England skipper Harry Kane has hit out at several players who withdrew from the national team ahead of their Nations League matches against Greece and Ireland, saying that the country must always come before club football. Kane further said this was never the case when Gareth Southgate was in charge, as he created an environment where players looked forward to England camps. In an official statement, Kane said, "It is the most important thing you play as a professional footballer." Gareth was hot on that and he wasn't afraid to make decisions if that started to drift from certain players. It's a shame this week. Obviously, I think it's a tough period of the season and maybe there's been taking advantage of that a little bit. I don't really like it if I'm totally honest. I think England comes before anything. Following England skipper Harry Kane's lashing out, interim coach Lee Carsley said he's focused on the players who are present ahead of their Nations League showdown with Greece.
Well, I think it's his opinion. You know, I can only deal with what's in front of us. You know, I think like we've said in the past, November is a challenging window. In the past, we've had 8-9 call off. Sorry, I know the under-21s and the under-20s have had a lot of players that have pulled out as well. So I think it is definitely that period of the season where fatigue and small injuries have played a part in it. But I think, like I say, it's it's a brilliant opportunity for other players that were on the outside of the squad, and now it's their chance.
England play Greece away on Thursday, followed by Ireland 3 days later at Wembley. But 9 players, some of them regular starters, who were called up by the interim boss have pulled out due to injuries. The onus is now on the current players who need to prove themselves in order to win the important encounters. Sports Desk, DD India. And that's all for this edition of DD India Sports Buzz. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching Sports Buzz. Namaskar.
Pacific, and the Biden administration has continued that momentum.